We all know that the first few moments getting ready in the morning can set the tone for the entire day. Wouldn't you love to get ready in a space where you feel streamlined, organized, and a spa-like experience? Well, I'm going to show you today how you can have that kind of a bathroom even if you're renting or have a very small home, and even if you're on a tiny budget. So let's get started. I'm Shannon, small space decor and organization expert, and I'll teach you how to live an upscale lifestyle on a downsized budget, whether you're living in a small home by choice or by chance. If I can do it, you can too. So let's embrace small space freedom together and create a haven we love to come home to. It may sound counterintuitive, but to make a small space look more spacious, the key is to find a focal point and create a large art piece. My husband and I live in an 1,100 square foot rental home, and I was not able to change this light fixture, but I was able to change the color. So I started by painting a primer over the black surface and then covering it with a paint color that really made it fade into that wall. Next, I'll be creating an oversized art piece to hang just above the fixture, and the black color would have totally detracted from what I was trying to do. So it was really important that I started with this step. And I want to encourage you to look at the fixtures in your bathroom and see if you could change them or update them or paint them. It makes such a world of difference. For just the cost of a bit of paint, this project was well worth the effort. And next, I will be creating that art piece I told you about by using a piece of scrap wood. Now, I'll be honest with you, a lot of times on trash day, I will see these little pieces of scrap wood sitting out by people's trash can, and I often go by and just snatch them up and throw them in my car, because I know that eventually I'll find a project that the size of that wood is perfect, and that's what happened with this one. If you're new to Skip to My Life, a great big welcome. I am so glad we found each other. For those of you who have been hanging out with me for a while, you know that I do not own a Cricut machine, and so therefore I am left to my own devices to make up my graphics, and I usually use an app called Canva. I went ahead and printed out the saying that I wanted in the font I wanted. It could not be easier, and I simply traced it onto that painted piece of wood. If you're having fun watching so far, don't forget to let me know by clicking the like button below. I thought this saying was so much fun because we are empty nesters, and one of the fun things about being an empty nester is you get to make your own decisions about what you wear around the house. Now, that has totally changed since our kids were gone. If they are watching this, they're going to be mortified to hear me say that. So what goes on in the empty nest house stays in the empty nest house. If you watched part 1 of this series, you heard a little bit about how I hand dyed my towels. Now, I went to Hobby Lobby and found a very extensive collection of RIT dyes, everything for dyeing any kind of fabric and any kind of color that you would want. I simply followed the instructions on the bottle. I did use 2 bottles for a total of 4 bath towels and about 6 hand towels, and it worked just fine. If I had to do this over again, I would have bought the color fixative as well. If you wash these in the future with something that's white, some of that color will come off on the white. So I always just wash them all together. I haven't had any troubles with that, but I would have bought the fixative next time. So if you have some old dingy towels that still are in great shape, I highly suggest that you give your bathroom a makeover by dyeing them a new chic color. It's so easy and the payoff is awesome. Another simple designer hack for making your tiny bathroom more glam is to replace the towel bars. Now, we had gotten into the habit of putting our towels over the shower curtain because we just didn't like the function of the towel bars that were there. They even had installed this long towel bar that was so annoying to me that I could not wait to take this thing off the wall. If you have a small bath like we do, I highly suggest you consider hooks for your towels versus towel bars. They take up so much less space and they're so practical. We got these very reasonably from IKEA, and then it was time to spackle those holes. Now, throughout this video, I am simply using 2 different quarts of paint that I purchased in the Miss Tint aisle at my local hardware store. Now, this is a great savings. Each quart was only $2.50 for a grand total of $5. And rather than painting that whole wall, I just decided to create a designer look by making a rectangle of that contrasting paint. The next purchase was lighting, and it was by far my most expensive, but also my most needed object in the bathroom. After a lot of research, I decided on this swivel mirror that was wall mounted and rechargeable. I was in desperate need of a light for my makeup. I literally had to go from one bathroom to another to see each side of my face illuminated, and I just was not having it anymore. So I went ahead and invested in this mirror. There is a link below to it, and I am demonstrating to you how it recharges. I usually will recharge it at night, and the little red light comes on if it needs more battery life, and then it turns green once your battery is fully charged. Comment below and tell me if you struggle with getting your makeup on because of vision challenges. I have to wear glasses. Contacts are not an option for me. So this mirror really was a life changer for me. The first side is a normal mirror, and then you flip it over and we have a 10x magnification. I used to think that I needed different makeup because it just wasn't applying correctly, and now I realize I really just needed the magnifier mirror. It makes everything so much simpler, and I feel like the outcome is exactly what I wanted. Well, this is episode 2 of my tiny bathroom makeover series, and if you are looking for tips and hacks to get your bathroom really organized and streamlined, and some free labels that you can print out and use in your bathroom, then you need to click on the link and watch part 1. If you're not able or just don't feel like painting your entire bathroom, I suggest that you try an accent wall. I tried each color, both the light gray and the darker gray, and I wasn't really happy with either one individually. So I'm going to try and create some kind of a effect on the wall. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be like, but in my mind, it feels something like birch trees. So I don't know exactly how it's going to turn out. So stay tuned and we shall see. I started by painting the darker color as a base, and then I went through with painter's tape and just made some vertical lines top to bottom at random intervals. Now, I had to take a lot of breaks where I stepped back from the wall and made sure that I liked what I was doing. So I suggest you take your time with this step of the process. Next, I came in with the lighter gray color right next to that painter's tape and created something of an ombre effect going from the tape to the far end. Then I removed the painter's tape from top to bottom and finished by dry brushing the whole wall with that lighter color paint. The end result was the effect of barnwood planks, and I finished it off with a mirror from IKEA that cost just $5. This is the wall that we can see as we enter our bathroom and also that we see from our bedroom. So I was really happy with the added touch. In part one of this tiny bathroom do-over, I talked a lot about storage, but I still had a few places that just were not functioning correctly for me, and one was my under sink space. Now, the biggest tip I will give you if you have downsized from a large home to a smaller home like we have is to really go through everything you use on a daily basis, to keep only those things in your bathroom and put everything else in another location. After I finished this process, I had 3 drawers left and I labeled them very quickly because these are just going to be test drawers to make sure that these are the things I really want to keep here. And then at a later date, I will type out prettier labels, but for now, these will work just fine. Our very last storage area to remodel was my husband's over sink. Now, he had these shelves that had belonged in my daughter's room, and he was so nice about having that girly touch. But I decided it was time for something a little bit more practical for him, and I found it at IKEA. These are actually wooden spice racks. They're very easy to assemble, and they're extremely sturdy. I went ahead and painted them the matching base color of that wall, still using just that quart of miscolored paint. And here's our big reveal. I hope this gives you courage. We were able to streamline this entire space. So it went from something that was very overwhelming and cluttered in the morning to something that feels like a spa experience. And I will tell you my biggest takeaway: if you have downsized from a larger size bathroom to a smaller bathroom, be ruthless about getting rid of things that you don't use on a daily basis. You will thank me later because you will have such a calm, peaceful experience getting ready every day. It's an area that we both just love to go to first thing in the morning. I have so many more wonderful ideas coming up for you in the next couple months. So if you haven't already, I sure hope you will subscribe. If you had fun watching this video and got some good ideas, please let me know by clicking that thumbs up button. If you're like us and you've recently become an empty nester or you've downsized from a larger to a smaller home, it is not easy, and I feel you. I have a special message for you at the very end of this episode. If you felt inspired by today's decor ideas, but you really need to get that bathroom space organized first, You're going to want to start by clicking on part 1 of this 2-part series where I will show you how to organize your small space bathroom on a teeny tiny budget. Hey, until we see each other next time, I hope you remember that today is not the end of your story, so don't you give up. This is Shannon from Skip to My Life.